This week's episode of The Owl House finally answered some long-standing questions about King, as well as about the Titan, so we're gonna break it all down. This week's episode opened with a dream sequence of King meeting an idealized version of his family, and having them meet the Owl House gang and all get along. After King wakes up from this, we see that it's actually just minutes after the events of the previous episode, with Hunter running out into the woods, and everyone worried about Bellos coming after Luz. After Hootie throws up a letter that was delivered for King, it's decided that he, Luz, and Hootie will travel to a distant land mentioned in the letter to try and meet King's people. In previous episodes, we learned that there are three species of the Boiling Isles: beasts, bugs, and bipeds. Beasts make up the bulk of various monsters, bugs include bug monsters of course, as well as species like this fairy, and then there are bipeds, which doesn't cover bugs or beasts like the fairy, who may look humanoid and bipedal, but rather what distinguishes the bipeds from other bipedal beasts or bugs is their ability to use magic by drawing circles in the air. King was left with no indication of which species he was, and at the time we were being led to believe that he was some mystery species that existed elsewhere in the world of the Boiling Isles, but this episode really subverted that expectation. From here, I'll be going over major spoilers, so turn back now if you haven't seen the new episode. Luz and King end up sailing to a distant hand on another Titan, the first real mention we get of the other Titans. There, they put a rock that came with King's letter into the right place and are transported to the other side of the world, to yet another dead Titan, where we meet the strange figure who noticed King back when he put his video up looking for his dad. He believed King to be a long-lost son of his clan, who they claim are all Titan trackers, though with the exception of their ruler Bill, most have not lived long enough to see a living Titan. It becomes clear fast that this clan, at least ignorantly while being led by Bill, are just normal witches who worship the Collector, who himself is some godlike Titan hunter who is of course trapped beneath the Boiling Isles Titan, as we saw last week. In one room, we see the remains of countless Titans that never made it to full size, something the Titan hunters are proud of as they use the skulls and furs of baby Titans to make up their costumes. They at first believe King to be the child of a Titan hunter left behind in disguise, but eventually realize that he is in fact the son of the Titan, the fabled final Titan they needed to kill to release the Collector. King was originally theorized to be the Titan or its child way back in the beginning of the series, but the show did a good job of since leading us in different directions before bringing us back to this reveal in a way that is satisfying and more meaningful than if we had just continued to believe it from the beginning. The Titans were described as evil by these Titan trackers, but by the end of the episode it becomes clear that the Titans may actually be the good guys, and the Collector is just some evil spirit trying to kill them all for whatever reason. In previous episodes, we saw that King was protected by a stone guardian in a sealed-off area as a child, something likely put in place by the Titan before he died, fighting the Collector and fell on top of him. My theory for now is that Titans don't mind witches using wild magic, let alone living on the Titans themselves, and they see it as part of their natural life cycle. The species of the Boiling Isles are all said to have risen from the muck of the Titan in its early decomposition, and I could see that happening on Titans all over this world, creating witches and other species shortly after the Titan dies, manifesting citizens for the Titan's child to rule over as he slowly grows to become his own giant, that will one day house its own little species of witches and demons to be ruled over by their sons, and so on and so forth. Why it took so long for King to hatch, only being born in Ida's lifetime, is a bit of a mystery, but I'm looking forward to the future episodes where we find out why, which are bound to be pretty epic. The episode ended with Luz and King returning to the Boiling Isles, but as we saw, the Owl House is now surrounded by the Emperor's Coven, and they have Kikimura's permission to finally go ahead and arrest everyone. In the previous episode, Bellos revealed his identity to Luz, confirming to her that he was Philip Whittabane, and with Luz knowing this, it confirmed to him that Luz and Lilith had gone back in time to teach him what he needed to learn, and that it's now safe for him to arrest not just Luz, but Ida, Lilith, and the entire Owl House gang, as the timeline will remain intact. If he had arrested them earlier, they would never have been able to go back in time to meet him and help him. That being said, next week's episode may not open with an arrest, but with Ida and Lilith being the awesome witches that they are and defeating the Emperor's Coven with ease. But who knows? Make sure you click the subscribe button so you don't miss it when we talk about it next week and every episode coming after, as well as our livestream interview with the cast at the end of the season. See you guys then.